Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Bible Chatter, where the Bible and critical thinking come together to bring you Christian commentary that matters. I hope that everyone's having a splendid day. I'm sorry that I haven't done that many shows in the past 2 weeks. I did 2 shows 2 weeks ago, and I did 1 show all last week. I never sleep. I'm awake 24 hours a day. If you guys have been watching my show for a long time, you know that I have a sleeping problem. I haven't slept since last year. So I'm very tired. It's hard for me to get out of bed. So it is what it is. But today's episode is titled Walking Wisely. Walking Wisely. And we will be reading Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 to 17. And if you guys need anything, if there's something going on in your life that you would like for me to pray for you over, I will pray for you. Just leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to say a prayer for you live during one of my shows. The utmost faith and love are required in the work of the last days. We may stumble from the slightest carelessness, for this stage of work is different from all the previous ones. What God's perfecting in mankind's faith, which both invisible and intangible. God converts words to faith, to love, and live to help others. People must reach a point. They've endured hundreds of refinements. They must endure incredible sufferings at times and all manner of torture without ever leaving God. When you're obedient unto death and have great faith in God, Jesus, then this stage of God's work is complete. In his letter to the Ephesians, the Apostle Paul shares how to walk wisely. In the passage, he gives 3 instructions. First, he says to be careful how you walk. Because we live in a sinful world, we must be vigilant about how we think and act. Second, the apostle instructs us to make the most of our time. So often we are tempted to squander our time and energy on our own pursuits without a thought of what our Heavenly Father may have in mind for us. Okay? Third, Paul tells us to understand what the will of the Lord is. In its broadest sense, God's will for us is that we would each become the person he created us to be and do the work he planned for us. Knowing this, we should look at every decision with consideration of whether our choice will further or hinder our Heavenly Father's purposes for us. The Lord wants us to walk wisely so that we can enjoy all the marvelous benefits that he's promised in this world. Wasted opportunities and time misspent can never be reclaimed. Let's commit to make our lives count for Christ instead of merely living for ourselves. If we go into Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 to 17. We have, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Okay. Well, we got foreign ships coming onto our waters. Russia, China. I mean, the book of Revelation is playing out more and more and more. There will be rumors of wars and wars. That's happening now. we are going to be attacked by China, Russia. They're all going to team up against us, I'm telling you. I strongly believe that America is going to be wiped out. I believe that we're going to be wiped out by these other countries. We need to make sure that we are right with Jesus Christ. I need to practice what I preach as well as saying it to you guys. we need to make sure that we're praying every day, and if not, we have to figure out what we have to sit down and do it. Every day we need to sit down and do a diagnostics check on ourselves and ask ourselves, are we living for Christ right now? Is the way we're living right now Christ-like? How am I spending my time? Am I spending it with the Lord, or am I spending it doing other things? We tend to run off and get distracted. I'm guilty of it. I get distracted by having to take care of people. I get distracted by having to do things. I'm in a season right now where I'm distracted from God. I'm a caregiver, and I got people that require a lot of my attention, and it gets frustrating because it takes time away from the Lord. Always make sure that you could spend time with the Lord, no matter what your situation is. Otherwise, you will be starving spiritually. So this is going to do it for today's episode of Bible Chatter. Until next time, stay good, stay godly in Jesus, and love your neighbor as yourself.